which the government's policy is following. And what I would like to, the other point, that where really intervention, even in the meanwhile, might be required, where, say, issue of public health for some reason or other, unless that particular thing, has become very important. Or on climate change issue, the climate scientists are saying something, we need to address that immediately. So, whereas the price market fluctuations may, pose challenges. So these are, I consider, big public good related issues. Only there we should think of tinkering with, the interfering with the market. Otherwise, please don't worry about it. This is my, otherwise innovations will not take place. Market induced innovation also take place over a whole range. Okay.
I have one small question and one information I want to share with you. My question is, are any studies being done of any ill effects of so-called renewable, like what happened in Uttarakhand? And second, there's a case going on in Germany where a wind farm owner has sued, where is a normal farmer has sued his neighbor wind farmer, saying that his wind, those turbines, etc., are stopping the flights of birds and bees and all other insects required for pollination of his yield. And yield has gone down. And what happened in Uttarakhand? That's my one question. Second is, the solar thing which you talked about the price, etc. Actually, that is not the real story as far as India is concerned. Company offered to Punjab just last year a price of 5 rupees 50 paisa per unit. And the answer given was that we don't want to take this power even for 1 rupee. So I said, why? They said, because whatever cost we give you, we have to give it free to the farmer. And I am an IAS officer. After 3 years, I'll show red balance sheet in this state electricity board. So I don't want to buy any electricity. I traveled Punjab for 1 month, and I find farmer wants free electricity from the government. He's not getting any electricity, but he's generating his own and spending about 10 to 15 rupees a unit. How do we sort out these problems?
Chronic problem. This is a kind of chronic problem we have. But I think we should make a, there is this policy of mandating that certain share has to be taken so that when people use it. But then there is also in 12 plan document, I think you can correct me, there is this, that those who will be producing renewable power, they will get certificates, and which would be like a tradable, permits, with the market will emerge like that of carbon market and all that. Now, where those who would be deficient in getting, an adequate pickup of renewable power, they can use those certificates. Now, how efficiently such market will function, of course, that is to be seen. But in 12 plan, am I wrong in my understanding? It is there.
Last year, renewable energy certificates were dead. In fact, let's be very clear that it all depends on the way the market develops. The question is, today it's not functioning, and also states are not getting obligated. And also there's a problem of payment. Tamil Nadu Electricity Board has not paid the wind people for the last 3 years, and it is in court. So I think there are many issues in this, so I think we cannot go into that here.
In this context, I would like to just submit, there are issues of the short run immediate, and there are issues of long run. And let me just admit, I have not bothered about short run issues. I have been only concerned always on long range planning, long range policy, and I believe that, well, the policy, the roadmap should be indicated, and then government should see there is not too much of short term departure. Otherwise, nobody would be incentivized. Is there some more question?
I think there's one more question. If we start talking about Indian policy, then I think we'll be here till the rest of the day, right? So I think, or probably another week. So I'll take 2 more questions, then we'll conclude the session. There's a gentleman here, and there are 3 more questions.
Thank you.
Please be brief, because you're standing between the speaker and his lunch.
Just a small thing which intrigued me, because thank you for your presentation, which is very nice, was about the land requirement which you mentioned. Now, you have not, you missed out on the rooftop generation of solar energy,
Oh.
which is happening all over the world. It's happening in Washington.
It is there in the paper and also
No,
in my
but
presentation.
does it
I
not
did
have
at the
a
time.
potential in India?
There
And
is?
if it does, then why talk about so much of land is required when you can get it practically?
No, I'm aware of this. It is there in the paper which I have written it out. Even in my presentation, there is a line. I didn't have the time to draw your attention to that. The rooftop there is a potential, like canal, bank.
No, canal is
Canal-
even cheaper
canal
than,
bank-
because people will put it up themselves.
And
As long as they can sell to the grid.
sell to the
And
grid.
it's happening all over the world except India.
And rooftop is also another. Rooftop is also another potential.
Either.
Hi, I am Mukul Kumar. Sorry, Professor Sen Gupta. I'd like to contradict you on one part. That is, you talked about the coal mining prior to your presentation. And I'll just say something. You said that there's no enough coal in the country. And on the other side, what we hear is the Colgate scandal. I would not like to discuss that. I'll just put that in the right perspective, that there's a huge amount of coal that our country has. I was with Steel Authority. We had certain mines which had reserve worth hundreds of years and very high quality coals. So, okay, that is just one part. And second part is regarding a very interesting innovation which happened, which I think has happened in China also, that the e-rickshaws, which I'm sorry if it has some connotations, I'm just trying to talk it as a micro-organization. There are about 2 lakh e-rickshaws in Delhi, and each costs about anything between 75,000 to 1.25 lakhs. And if you see the total cost, it's about 20,000 crores. So that has come from the private investment. And would we like that initiative? Because I see that the environment has improved substantially in Delhi. Would we like that should go as a waste? I'm just keeping this as a thought for everybody.
I cannot, of course, answer this because I have
I'm
not
not,
looked
I
at
don't
them.
want that, but
But what I would like to say about your, say, steel industries, then why are we importing so much of coal from outside? I was 6 years on the board of SAIL as a nominated expert, and there one of the major worry was the coal supply, and because your domestic coal is not good enough for meeting the requirements of the blast furnaces.
SAIL was willing to put ash handling plant for coal and the mine pit so that you improve those quality and then supply to SAIL.
Already some beneficiation being made.
Yeah.
Coal is being washed. All
Yes.
coal are washed, whether it is domestic coal or
Sorry, we can
imported
discuss.
coal.
Yes,
maybe we
I
can
think
discuss
it'll
that
be a
one.
better idea if we discuss this over, take this over lunch. Yes, we'll take this. Well, yes, there is going
You
to be
know,
lunch.
in
yes.
your computation, you have taken that a huge area is under the westland. I don't think there is any westland in India, because every inch of land is being used for something or something other. I, being from the Indian Forest Service, I know the situation on the ground. So when the Rajiv Gandhi ji gave a call for 5 million afforestation, it was very difficult for us to find the land, suitable land. So please don't, I think it will be wrong to take that we have so much wasteland in India. We require land for roads, we require land for building colonies. And so, wasteland is required for so many things. So be realistic when
No,
calculating.
listen,
the requirement.
please.
Okay,
I
Prof.
have not
Dr.
said that
We'll take one more. There's
No,
one more
just-
question,
just-
and then this lady has a question,
Ajay,
and then
just- no,
I'll
just let
stop
me-
taking questions.
uh,
No, you respond.
And a
The lady has a question.
response is, I have not given you any figure of what is the total land, total wasteland. In fact, this is a very much disputable area. Because I have worked on the biodiesel, how much land resource we can have. We have in several contexts, and I am quite aware of this is one of the most sensitive issues in a political economically. And now the point is this, absolute number, what has been taken in which study, all are not clear. But what people are claiming that whatever be the X number, if I can take 5% of that, then I can, utilize the full potential of the solar light, solar energy, or wind potential which is reaching. It is just this limited exercise. It is quite possible this would not be realizable, but these are potentials which are there. And if you compare what is achievable and non-achievable, look at the 100 years ago, what was considered by humanity to be the potential and what it is now today. So these are all dynamic phenomena. This would all be changing. Nothing is sacrosanct. This is what I would like to repeatedly submit to you. And that is why ministries and planning commission go on doing continuous work.
Okay, we have the last question.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks, thanks for excellent presentation, Dr. Sen Gupta. It was quite informative. I'm a public health expert. I'm from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. I was looking for some solution for the high, indoor air pollution in the country. And we have been looking at new and renewable sources of energy. We have a whole ministry looking after that. But till now, I think there's no solution. And they have been working on smokeless chulhas for more than 3 decades. I met Professor Prasad from IIT Delhi also, and others who have been working. But it's a major source of mortality in the country. So many people are dying because of this, indoor house pollution. And now we have set a target as per the World Health Organization for by 2025, we want to reduce it to, by 25% or so. But how? So, I mean, from the public health point of view, people need to look at that dimension also.
You are right. This is the third largest killer of the world. After AIDS and after malaria or something, and then this is the next killer. And the only thing, the problem is, real solution is either you give them natural gas or you convert your biomass into gas and then supply it to them. This has to be addressed. And if off-grid utilization has to be done, then that is the area where possibly things would work to be economic. I do not claim it would be economic, but it seems to me that this is a likely area of not generating power immediately, but at least cooking fuel. Okay.
Thank you. I think on that happy note, why and when, we don't know why and when it's not happening. But I think for our foreign friends who are here and who've come from far and wide, you would have probably got a sense of the problems at least in this area, renewable energy, that affect India and that don't have an easy solution. From the point of view of the G20 agenda, again, I think as Mr. Anil Jain pointed out and Dr. Sen Gupta pointed out, I think there are sharp differences between countries because some countries are oil producing, some countries are importers, some countries have oil resources, some countries import oil, and therefore the implications for public health and externalities will vary across countries. And of course, economics and politics trumps health considerations or externalities, and when externalities are not taken into account, even in the short term, then your kind of policy decisions tend to be distorted, at least for the short term, if not for the, at least for the long term, if not for the short term. But I think we've had a very interesting discussion, albeit in parts. Mr. Jain came and left. Dr. Sen Gupta gave a very, I think, nice presentation, informative presentation. I'm really sorry for those of you who are waiting to hear Mr. Mathur from the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. He was going to talk about, innovations in trying to create efficiency on the demand side by imposing kind of standards as well as through market-based instruments, how you can get efficiency in usage on the demand side, both from the point of view of market-based instruments as well as from the point of view of creating higher standards for appliances. And India is experimenting with both. You heard about the fossil fuel subsidy decreases in India, and you would have heard from him about the increases in standards, which is a non-market based instrument to try and get efficiency on the demand side. On the supply side, you have We've had a wonderful presentation on what the potential for different alternative fuel mixes are. On that happy note of why and how it doesn't happen in India, let me call this session to a close, and we'll break for lunch and we'll reassemble at 2 o'clock on a very important topic which we introduced in the dinner talk, which is the changing role of international institutions and the restructuring of international institutions in India. That will be our last session. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
You have to excuse me.
You will not stay for lunch?
Let me see. I have to rush quickly. But thank you for this opportunity of talking.
No, wonderful. Thank you very much.
I was just thinking what to say and what would be relevant.
It was really good.
Okay. Okay. We should keep in touch.
Please have a quick lunch.
Let me see.